The reception hall was bathed in golden light, and the scent of white roses filled the air. It was Daniela's wedding, Camila's cousin, and everyone looked like they'd stepped out of a society magazine. I walked hand in hand with her, feeling proud of the 3 years we'd spent building a future together. Camila looked spectacular in the navy blue dress we'd chosen together. I gazed at her and felt that, after so much shared effort, we were finally where we belonged, surrounded by her family. However, that bubble of happiness burst when her aunts approached. Aunt Beatrice, with her air of superiority, looked me up and down and asked Camila who the handsome young man accompanying her was. I squeezed her hand, hoping she'd say my name with the pride of a bride, but what came out of her mouth was like an icy slap. "This is Diego, a very close friend who's with me today," she said with a slight smile, letting go of my hand as if it burned her. In that instant, my 3 years of dedication were reduced to a mere friendship of convenience. The aunts nodded and began talking about other things, ignoring me as if I were just another piece of furniture in the living room. Camila went along with it, laughing and chatting as if she hadn't just erased our history in front of her own relatives. I froze, feeling the humiliation creep up my throat. I couldn't understand why she was hiding me. Was it because of my job? Because of where I came from? The reason didn't matter. The damage was done. Instead of making a scene, I decided that the truth would be my only defense. I took advantage of a brief pause in the conversation to clear my throat. In a firm voice that surprised even Camila, I said, "Let me correct that. Camila isn't my friend. She's my ex-girlfriend. We just broke up exactly 30 seconds ago." The silence that followed was so heavy you could almost touch it. The aunt stopped smiling, and Camila turned, so pale I thought she would faint. Her eyes, once so confident, now pleaded for silence, but I no longer had any reason to protect her. That's when Dona Margarita, Camila's mother, appeared. She approached with quick steps and an expression of barely contained fury. "What does this mean, Camila Fernandez?" she asked bluntly. "Did you tell your aunts that Diego was just a friend?" Camila tried to stammer an explanation, but her mother didn't let her continue. Dona Margarita knew me well. She knew I had been there when Camila lost her job, that I had paid for part of her studies, and that our relationship was anything but a close friendship. "After everything this young man has done for you, is this how you repay him? By denying him in front of your own family, just for appearances?" Dona Margarita declared. The other guests began to murmur. Camila tried to pull me aside to explain, but I gently pulled away. I told her I didn't need an explanation, that her silence and her lie had spoken for her. At that moment, I understood that Camila loved the idea of having someone who supported her, but she was ashamed of the reality of that support if it didn't fit her social standards. I picked up my jacket and headed for the exit. Dona Margarita caught up with me before I crossed the threshold. She took my hands and, with tears in her eyes, apologized for her daughter's behavior. I told her it wasn't her fault, and that I thanked her for being the only one with the courage to tell the truth. Stepping outside, I felt an enormous weight lift from my shoulders. The wedding music still played in the distance, but for me, the real celebration was my freedom. Days later, Camila tried to find me, flooding my phone with messages and calls. She said it had been a moment of nerves, that she didn't want her aunts to judge our relationship yet. But I already understood everything. Someone who denies you in public doesn't deserve your presence in private. I changed my number, focused on my work, and decided I would never again be anyone's secret. Sometimes, losing someone is the only way to find yourself, and that night at the wedding, even though I lost a girlfriend, I regained my dignity.